Good day, here are today's top stories from the Pna Headlines. The Philippines and Japan have reiterated their commitment to uphold freedom of navigation and international law. The National Security Council said Security Advisor Eduardo Año and his Japanese counterpart Masataka Okano spoke over the phone on reaffirming their country's commitments. Among their topics were upholding a free and open Indo-Pacific international rules-based order and areas of cooperation to address destabilizing actions in the West Philippine Sea and South China Sea. They also targeted to continue and promote the trilateral framework of cooperation with the United States under the new administration of President Donald Trump. Earlier, Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo said the Philippines is steadfast in defending international order and the rule of law, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. Manalo shared this as Philippines and Chinese officials argued over the South China Sea at the 61st Munich Security Conference in Germany on Sunday. Manalo maintained that following international law will be the best way to reduce tensions amid moves to impose other countries' domestic rules within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone. For his part, former Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Fu Ying opposed the Philippines' occupation of Ayungin Shoal and the Sabina Shoal, saying it is a violation of the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea. Fu also expressed concern over the United States' alleged involvement behind the claimants in the South China Sea. Meanwhile, Singapore Minister for Defense Nang Eng Hen said that China Coast Guard patrols have gone up in the South China Sea to about 2,000 ships a day, or by 20% from last year. He also noted 200 Chinese militia vessels around disputed features, which is a 35% increase from 2022. In other news, the Department of Migrant Workers is implementing stricter measures for the deployment of overseas Filipino workers to Kuwait. DMW Secretary Hans Leo Gov't said the government is implementing the Know Your Employer requirement as part of the screening process, not only for workers but also for prospective employers. In this process, workers will have a mandatory video call with the employer before departure to see their faces and know each other better. Gov't said the process will reduce risks of exploitation or abuse. The DMW will likewise enforce stricter employer qualifications, including background checks for criminal records, financial capabilities, and track records in employment. Compliant employers and recruiters in Kuwait and the Philippines will also be subject to a whitelisting system to qualify for hiring OFWs. Meanwhile, the DMW is implementing a Kumustahan system where OFWs can be monitored by letting them report their conditions via text, email, or social media platforms. Moving on to business, government agencies have the implementing rules and regulations of the CREATE MORE Act, the law that will incentivize investments by enterprises on the Philippine economy. Fiscal and Incentives Review Board Chair Ralph Recto and Co-Chair Maria Cristina Roque led the signing of the IRR of Republic Act 12066 before key officials from various investment promotion agencies. The IRR clarifies guidelines on allowing registered business enterprises under the CREATE Act to continue enjoying their previously granted tax incentives. It also directly addresses investor concerns regarding the issuance of the Value-Added Tax Zero Rating Certificate. Under the IRR, the FIRB will evaluate highly desirable projects and guide the President in granting fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. It also prohibits double registration of projects and ensure responsible fiscal management. In a statement, Recto said the signing of the IRR means the Philippines is ready to compete and prove itself as a stable and defendable economic ally. Following the signing of the IRR, the government is set to hold investment roadshows abroad and use the CREATE MORE Act to entice investors. Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs Frederick Goals, a member of the FIRB, said South Korea will be the roadshow's first stop next month, followed by the United States in April. There will also be roadshows in Japan, China, Europe, and the Middle East. Go's said the roadshow aims to let the investors know about CREATE More and its benefits, including how it will improve the ease of doing business and how it reduces the cost of doing business. He said the CREATE More will also strengthen investments from local sources. He expects that the country can attract more big-ticket projects with the signing of the CREATE More IRR. The 5% broken rice variety may now be bought in Metro Manila markets for as low as 52 pesos per kilogram. The Department of Agriculture further lowered its maximum suggested retail price for 5% broken rice in Metro Manila to 52 pesos per kilogram from its previous 55 pesos price earlier this month and from 58 pesos last January. The reduction was made effective February 15 amid declining global price of rice, particularly in India, Thailand, and Vietnam. DA spokesperson Arnel de Mesa said retailers are given a chance to release old stocks bought at a higher price and renegotiate with traders and importers. He said the DA is expecting traders to comply with the 52 peso per kilo MSRP within the next 2 weeks. The DA aims to bring down the MSRP to as low as 49 pesos per kilo in March. Prices of onions are also expected to go down in the coming weeks with the arrival of approved imports of red and white onions. About 3,200 metric tons of imported red and white onions are expected to arrive in February based on data from the Bureau of Plant Industry. De Mesa said imported stocks will slightly tame the spike in onion prices in the market without affecting locally produced onions. As of February 14, the prices of local red onions in Metro Manila ranges from 150 to 230 pesos per kilogram, 100 pesos to 140 pesos per kilogram for local white onions, and 100 to 150 pesos per kilogram for imported white onion. And that's the latest and the biggest stories on the PNA headlines. For more news updates, visit our website pna.gov.ph or our Facebook and X account, Philippine News Agency. The PNA headlines is also streamed via the Servicio Facebook page. You may also watch the PNA headlines through the Philippine News Agency's YouTube account and via the News and Information Bureau website under PNA News. I am Marita Muaje. This is the PNA headlines, bringing stories that unite the nation.